We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
Behave yourselves.
But that is the secret to Lumacorp's success. Control the head, and you control the body.
Well, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security is developing new laser-based scanners that are going to be used to identify any chemical substance in or on your body from as far as 50 meters away. Now, officials say that these are going to be used to detect explosives at airports or border crossings, but some security experts are warning they could identify alcohol, drugs, even what you eat, prompting a lot of concern for civil liberties. So is this a development in technology and security, or a Big Brother privacy nightmare? For more, let's turn to Charlie McGrath in Montana, the founder of WideAwakeNews.com. Charlie, it is great to have you back on the program. Now, we've all been in this situation at one point or another. You're at the airport, you're waiting in line for hours. Theoretically, these new scanners would eliminate these delays and these waits. Should we be concerned?
Absolutely, we should be concerned. And of course, we're going to hear that argument from the mainstream and from the businesses that stand to reap an amazing windfall from the sale of these kind of devices, that, you know, it's better for the safety of the people of this country, it's better for the safety of the people of the world. And really, if you don't have anything to hide, then you won't mind subjecting yourself to this humiliation on steroids. And again, you won't mind paying for this out of your tax dollars. So absolutely, it's something we should be concerned about. We've seen since 9/11, the introduction of the Patriot Act, and nonstop legislation since then, one liberty-eroding piece of legislation or one liberty-destroying piece of apparatus after another come to bear in society, to the point where we're just kind of becoming used to it. But we need to understand that with every day that passes, every other next piece of legislation that comes down the road, every piece of equipment that gets installed that we have to subject ourselves to, we are becoming more and more a Stasi-style police state.
Well, Charlie, I mean, you sort of bring up this point, but I want to get into it a little bit more. There may be well-meaning legislation, right, something like this that could theoretically improve security measures, but at the same time, is there anything to prevent it from being taken up in supermarkets, in stores, on the streets, from expanding beyond the original purposes?
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I would even argue that there's well-meaning legislators. I think there's legislators that have been paid off. I think there's legislators that have their meteoric rise into the political heights funded by this military industrial and security industrial complex. But to see it spread from so-called security in the airport to the everyday life in the streets, of course this is going to happen. If we look at what's going on with the TSA, we don't see them just in airports now. They have their Viper teams patrolling around the country, checkpoints that promise to continue in 2012 and escalate in 2013. So, you know, and look at the fact that we're now flying drones for domestic law enforcement around the country. Of course, we're going to see this spread to the general public. We will be under the eye of Big Brother. Well,
that sounds like a frightening prospect, but is this simply a price that Americans are now going to have to pay to help their government protect them from the threat of terror?
There is no threat of terror. That's a canard. Let me tell you something. We were talking about the Olympics before this piece right here. As an American, I have a 662,000 to 1 chance of winning an Olympic medal. If I take a bath tonight, I have a 685,000 to 1 chance of drowning in that bathtub. If I walk outside after this interview, I have a 2.3 million chance of being struck dead by lightning. On an average year on this planet, my chances are 3.2 million to 1 that I'm going to be killed by a terrorist. So what we see building out of 9/11, the Patriot Act, and ending recently with National Defense Authorization Act 2012, and every other piece of so-called legislation that's protecting the people, is the enriching of the financial super elite in the security industrial complex. We see a perpetuation of the finocracy, where financial interests write legislation that govern this country. And all this talk of fearing Ahmadinejad out of every closet or coming out from underneath everybody's bed is nothing more than a fear tactic so we can enrich a very few people on this planet.
Well, it's a fear tactic that certainly has a lot of people worried. Charlie, thank you so much for your time. That was Charlie McGrath, founder of WideAwakeNews.com.
Jim, what exactly will the authorities be able to snoop on if this legislation is passed at the end of the day?
Well, they'll be able to see just about every bit of communication traffic that you make. While they won't restore the content of, say, phone messages or email messages or bits of chat, on Facebook. What they will do is they'll record when and where you do these communications, and perhaps even where you are in effect, because they will keep things like the mobile location data of your mobile phone and also your internet address.
And thank you for feeding the Bush family.